1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to a Friday, the 1st of March edition of Crypto Warehouse. I am Mike, and for the next 45 minutes to an hour, we're going to go through the crypto news. We are going to have a look at some charts, Bitcoin especially, Metis. We are then going to have a little bit of a training session. We're going to go through oracles. We're going to go through what an oracle is, why they are important, and then I'm going to show you the list of oracles that you can buy, hold, trade, whatever it is you want to do with oracles if you like the look of them. So, good morning to everybody that's out there. Good morning to Hidden Agendas. Good morning to all of the people who are in chat. I hope you are well. Remember to say hello. Thank you for all the love hearts and the smiley faces. It is greatly appreciated. And if you are pasting anything naughty in chat, please stop. Remember, this is a two-way stream. Yesterday was a really good show. We got a lot of people asking questions, commenting on the stream. It was great. We got to really interact with you guys, and that's what it's all about. I'm not here to just sit here and talk at you for an hour. It's two ways. If you've got any questions about what we're talking about, ask away. And remember, say hello, especially if you are called Nick. Good morning, Nick. I hope you're well. Bancroft, I hope you are well. I hope you are all doing exceptionally well. Now, we're going to get on, have a look at the markets first, and then we're going to look at some X-Files. Bitcoin back above $62,000. Ethereum above $3,400. BNB, Solana absolutely ripping. XRP just fighting away at 60 cents. Cardano fighting away to get above 70 cents. And as I said, Dogecoin's next move was 12 cents. And we're kind of there. We're kind of there. Next leg up for me would be about 18, 19 cents for Dogecoin. Market cap is down 1%. But we are still at 2.31 trillion. Remember, there's an awful lot of movement with the ETFs, and that's swinging the markets. We've got an X-file about that, which we're going to cover in a minute. But put it this way, a $600 million sell didn't bring the price down. So all well and good for that. Now, volume is down, but boy, it's 133 billion. I mean, we were covering this when we were at 26 billion in volume, and that 133 billion is down a third. So we are still in the hundreds of billions a day in volume, which is great to see. Bitcoin dominance is pushing up towards 53%. ETH is still just under 18%. It's good. I'm not going to complain. It's a Friday. We should all want to go out and touch the grass and look at the sky today. Let's have a look then at what has lost and gained in the last 24 hours. Axelar is up a whopping 59%. FET, remember, Fetch and Singularity are my two picks. I was calling them at 350 million. They're now 1.37 billion and 1.06 billion. I hope you picked up some Fetch and Singularity. I've even made a video about Fetch last week or the week before, highlighting why, for me, Fetch is really going to kick off. They've started an AI foundation with Bosch. It's going to big places. It's also signed a deal with Singularity to remove what's called hallucinations from AI. Hallucinations is where AI sees things that don't exist. So Fetch and Singularity are working on a system to remove that. So they are big calls. BitTenza we're going to cover today in oracles. Chiliz is up. Pepe is up. It's a green day for the alts. At the other end of the table, Cosmos is down a touch. Celestia is down. Arweave, Conflux, Mantle. Remember, some of these are profit takes, and it's never a bad idea to look at these coins as ones that you might want to accumulate into. If you want to buy Mantle at under $1, if you want to buy Cosmos at under $15, if you want to buy Celestia, remember Celestia is ranging between about $14 and $20, $15 and $20. So Celestia is a good coin. Arweave is down a touch, but is starting to recover. So most of these are profit takes. I wouldn't say any of these are down to bad news or anything like that. So it's always a good idea to look at these. What you shouldn't be doing is you shouldn't be YOLOing in to Axelar or Fetch or Dog with Hat. I did say that buying Fetch at $1.30 wasn't a bad idea, and we're at $1.65. So even though we've come from 30-40 cents and we're at $1.65, it's still not too early to get into Fetch. I would say once we get towards a $2 billion market cap for Fetch, maybe you should then ease off, because that we're starting to see AI coins being slightly overbought at this moment in time. Good morning to a few people in chat. Eternity, welcome to the stream. I hope you are well. I hope you are doing well. Anyway, so that's it really for the charts. Everything's looking good. We're still at 62,000 for Bitcoin. I don't see any kind of retracements, in all honesty. We're looking up. We're looking up. Eternity, who are you? Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat who you are. And remember, if you've got any questions, fire away. So this is to do with what happened, why we saw a drop down. $600 million left Grayscale yesterday. That is a lot. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. If you remember, Tuesday, I think it was, or Wednesday, we saw a massive rally up to $64,000. We are now back at $62,000. And the question you got to ask yourself is, how long can Grayscale be sold off for? It's already down $8.5 billion. It's not going to carry on forever. And there are some very simple facts of life you need to understand about Bitcoin. There are only 900 new Bitcoin a day being made. In April, there will be 450 new Bitcoin a day being made. On Tuesday, 11,200 Bitcoin were picked up by the ETFs. Now, even if that figure drops to 3,000 or 4,000 a day, when we're only producing 450, and of that only 400 might be sold, if we're only adding 400 to the pile every day and we're removing 4,000 from the pile, what do you think is going to happen to the price? You divide $500 million a day outflows into the ETFs. You divide that by 450, and that will give you a price that Bitcoin should be at to reach parity. And it's over $1 million a Bitcoin. Now, we're not going to get there today. We're not going to get there tomorrow. Think longer term. Think, where is Bitcoin going to be in the future? If we are seeing $1 billion a day and there's only 400 Bitcoin a day being put onto the market, think about what the price of Bitcoin is going to be, because remember, that's only ETF traffic. What about you? What about your friends and family? What about private investors and family offices? What about nation states buying Bitcoin? There's only 450 Bitcoin being made. Where is that Bitcoin going to come from to fill the demand? The price has to rise, and that's the only thing that's going to happen in the near future. Is we're going to have a supply shock. What happens if there's no Bitcoin for these ETFs to buy? This is a perfect example now. So this was yesterday. 11,211 Bitcoin were purchased by ETFs. And that was on the 28th of February, 2 days ago. There's only 900 being made. Now, as I keep saying about the price of Bitcoin, and I don't want this to become a Bitcoin show, we are going to talk about other coins, but the point of the matter is that this affects everything. At some point in the future, probably this year, there's going to be an inflection point where this 11,200 a day, 8,000 a day, 6,000 a day becomes unsustainable. And this 900 becomes 450. And that is when you will see people go into panic mode. If you knew and you read the white paper and you fully understood Bitcoin, you would be trying to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. Like this gentleman here, or miss here. This is Mr. 100, a mystery buyer, potentially in South Korea, who buys 100 Bitcoin, several times each day. Several times each day they are buying Bitcoin. And they've been doing it, I believe, since November last year. So they are accumulating Bitcoin. Who is this person? Could it be Jeff Bezos? Could it be South Korea? Could it be Japan? We don't know who it is. As we said yesterday on the show, Edward Snowden believes that there is a nation buying Bitcoin as we speak. And we don't know who that nation is. We don't know who is buying all this Bitcoin. We just know it's being bought up. And that is, I mean, I don't want to overemphasize this issue, but there's not enough Bitcoin to go around. And that's what you need to understand. When you're buying into the alts, great, alts are going to pump. But remember, you should have at least 30% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, at least 30%. So if you have a $10,000 portfolio, right now you should have 0.05 Bitcoin in the near future. Now, we're going to have a look at JP Morgan, because Jamie Dimon really is starting to look foolish. Let's wait for all of this to disappear now. Bitcoin could slide to $42,000 after halving hype subsides, JP Morgan says. The Bitcoin production cost has historically acted as a lower boundary to the cryptocurrency's price, the report said. The halving event is in April 20th at this moment in time, and it will have a negative impact on the profitability of Bitcoin miners. The Bitcoin price could fall to $42,000. Larger publicly listed miners are better placed to survive. Now remember, JP Morgan is not outwardly a fan of Bitcoin. That's one thing to bear in mind. The second thing to bear in mind is that if I want you to sell me your stocks or shares or Bitcoin or Ethereum, I'm not going to tell you it's going to go to $1 million. I'm going to tell you it's going to go to zero, and I'm going to lambast that coin to the point where you decide that I'm right and you're wrong, and you're going to sell your coins to me. And that is the issue. That is the issue that you have to overcome. You cannot be drawn in to believing a lot of this information. There is, and we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute after we've looked at Jeff Bezos, but there is a position where Bitcoin can retrace 42, and then we've moved up. So there is that to take into account. The issue is that BlackRock and the big boys, the 9 as they're called, they are now fully on board with Bitcoin. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan and Vanguard and a few others are not bought in to the Bitcoin idea just yet. So miners, they believe, are going to see a crushing blow to the price of Bitcoin and fall down to 42,000. Now, I'm going to go through the chart again. I covered this on Monday and gave you the scenario that I expected. So we're going to go through that in a minute. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this news. Now, we don't know if this is true. This is speculation at best. A few days ago, there was a picture of Michael Saylor on a yacht with Jeff Bezos and a few other people. Jeff Bezos is, of course, the owner of Amazon. He is worth, I don't know, tens of billions of dollars. He recently sold $8.5 billion in stock. A lot of people thought this was because he was expecting a market correction. We've had all of these tinfoil hat conspiracy theories about bunkers being built. You know, you've got Haiti, you've got Mark Zuckerberg building an $800 million complex. You've got all this kind of thing. So this was tied into that narrative. But maybe Jeff Bezos wasn't selling $8.5 billion of Amazon stock to build a bunker. Maybe he was buying Bitcoin. Remember, he started Amazon way back when, the internet was young. He's not an idiot. He's a very clever man. If he is hanging around with Michael Saylor, then he's an incredibly clever man. And Michael Saylor, like Wormtongue, will be whispering in his ear, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. Now, if he buys $5 billion of Bitcoin today, or not today, but over the next few weeks, few months, he is more than likely going to turn that 5 billion into 20, 25, 30 billion in the next couple of years. So why wouldn't Jeff Bezos take his Amazon stock and do that? He's not going to 5x his Amazon stock in the next 2 years. So what Jeff Bezos could do is buy $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, wait for it to get to 20 billion, sell 10 billion and buy back $10 billion worth of Amazon stock, and probably increase his position within Amazon and still hold $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. So it would be a wise move for Jeff Bezos to do this. But again, we do not know for a fact that it is. It's just speculation. The rumor that Jeff Bezos is buying Bitcoin, the rumor is based on an ex-post from Apollo co-founder Thomas Farah, which presents conjectures on the possibility that Bitcoin could be the reason behind his stock sell-off. He was mingling with Michael Saylor. He liquidated 8.5 billion. He's sitting on cash. Bitcoin's price is pumping. I'm not going to play the video of them on the boat. It's two men on a yacht. I'm sure you've seen many of those before. The reason behind this, he speculates, is billionaire FOMO, or fear of missing out. The reason could be skewed though, and Bezos has yet to make any announcements. There is also no solid evidence that Bezos did buy, as no public records support the claim. Now, whether he has or he hasn't, we are at the stage now where Jeff Bezos and Bitcoin are being talked about in articles. I am sure Bill Gates will be involved. I am sure Mark Zuckerberg will be involved in articles in the next few months talking about buying and holding Bitcoin. If you think that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't hold Bitcoin, I don't know where you are, because all clever billionaires are going to be holding Bitcoin. Cuban, Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Gates, they'll all own Bitcoin. To some extent, maybe only 1,000 here or 2,000 there or 10,000 there, but they will all be holding Bitcoin. And again, if they're holding Bitcoin and it's good enough for them, it is certainly good enough for you. So, one rumor and one bit of negative news about Bitcoin. But what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the chart and go through a scenario that I went through at the start of the week. And we have a lot of new people watching that were not watching at the start of the week. So we're going to go through the charts. Now, as I said, 61,000. If we go to the weekly, there it is. Go to the weekly chart. Or is it the monthly chart? Hang on, the monthly chart. Very quickly, let's see. We didn't do it, did we? No, we did not. So yesterday, I put this chart up. This is the monthly candle for Bitcoin. And I said that if Bitcoin finishes the month above 61,400, it will have put in a new all-time high for the monthly price of Bitcoin. Of course, we went to 69,000, but we didn't do it. We fell below. We came down to 60,900. So we have not set a new monthly high for Bitcoin. What a shame. But it's the second highest monthly close in Bitcoin's history. Now back to the chart. Again, we look like we're coiling up again, don't we? If you look at this kind of coil and you copy that, for example, could we do that? Distinct possibility that we do that in the coming weeks. So what do I think is going to happen? Well, first of all, 42,000. Actually, we've moved up since. We're at 42.8. 42,800 is the bull market support band at this moment in time for Bitcoin. Now, what I see happening, I think we've got the halving on this chart. There we go. So this blue line is the halving as it stands. as it stands. And if we do something as crude as this and do that, we could potentially be about $85,000, $80,000 before the halving if we follow this trajectory, which we're not going to do. But we could see something like this between now and the halving. Now, if we do come down, remember, we're going to have multiple levels of support beneath us. So just bear in mind, we're going to move these lines 1 second. That's the all-time high. We will move this line here. So this is where JP Morgan believe the price of Bitcoin will fall down to, which we were at for a good period of time. For a month and a half we were down here, and it is where the bull market support band is. But the issue is that this bull market support band over the next, what is it now, 6 weeks, is going to do that because the price is starting to rise, so it's starting to arc up. So what I think is likely to happen is we are going to come up here, potentially hit whatever figure we get to. Maybe we don't come up as high. Let's be a bit more conservative. Maybe we do this, and maybe we do this. So maybe we're a little bit less. Now, what should happen, and we come down, we could find our support band here at 68,000, 67,000, and then we go up. That's the likely scenario for me. There isn't a scenario at this moment in time where I see anything below 60,000. I don't think we're going to see below 50,000 ever again for Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to go below 50,000 ever again for Bitcoin. I do think we could see a 20% correction because that has happened in the past. But a 20% correction from here takes us to 50,000. So if the price doesn't move for the next 2 months, the correction traditionally has been about 20%. So the correction would be 50,000. But I don't think we're going to be at 62,000 by the halving. I do think we are going to have another bit of sideways action. We're going to bounce off here, reject, break, and then we might correct. But we might correct down from 80,000. And correcting down from 80,000 brings us to 64,000, which is probably a bit down here. So I see this happening, but where on earth? How do we get here? How do we see this price? Because that's a bear market correction. 40,000, 42,000 from here is a 33% correction, is it not? How do we get a 33% correction when there's $500 million a day worth of Bitcoin being bought by the ETFs? How do we do that? I don't see it happening, and I don't think JP Morgan are doing anything but trying to get you to sell to them. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to shake you out. So bear that in mind when you are buying your Bitcoin. Keep buying the Bitcoin. Keep holding the Bitcoin. Keep dollar cost averaging in. You are not too late to buy Bitcoin. You are never too late to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin over the next 10 years, 15 years is going to appreciate in value. If we go back to the weekly chart, Bitcoin is more than likely going to do this and come down and do this and come down. But whatever happens, there's going to be a trend line that's going to take us up. And that's what you need to remember. I'm not going to go into the trend line now, but just have some faith that we are going up. Right, okay. I didn't recognize the name Eternity. That's the problem. So you've been following us. Well, thank you for following us. It is greatly appreciated. We need as many followers as possible. In the bottom left-hand corner, you will see we have a ticker. And that ticker counts the number of people that follow us across our different platforms. We recently broke 100,000. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. We're now up to 101,500. So the target by the end of this year is to try and get somewhere near 200,000 followers, which would be amazing. Good morning to 8489. Welcome to the stream. Cade, should I say. Welcome to the stream. Thank you all for coming today. And if you have questions, ask them in chat. That is what we are here for. You were here from Soda Can. You were here from the start. Yes, you were. You were one of our OGs. Absolutely. All right, let me go back into chat. I'm going to drop a box. Give me 1 second, and then I will begin. Good morning, Solo Sky. Good morning, Solo Sky. I hope you are well as well. Right, 1 second, and then we'll get on with Metis. Okay, that's dropped. Remember, smash the like button, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel, whatever it is you can do. Press all those magical buttons in front of you and show us some support for free. Good morning, Danny. Good morning to you. Everybody seems to have come into chat at the same time. Good morning, Lucky. Hello to Stranger Bee. Now that's a nice name. Right, let's get on then. So Metis integrates Chainlink's CCIP to boost ecosystem growth and cross-chain capabilities. We are going to talk about Chainlink next when we talk about oracles, because oracles are something which are not sexy, but they will make a huge difference to the ecosystem, blockchain ecosystem, and they will also accumulate a lot of value over time. So I'm very big on oracles. So Metis hopes to amplify its market influence and presence through the integration of the cross-chain technology. Now, Chainlink, as you can probably gather from the name, it is linking blockchains together. Through security, it provides connections between one chain and another. They have integrated across many different platforms. They are involved with Visa and MasterCard. They are involved with Circle, USDC. They have all of their fingers in all of the pies, and they are the Goliath. They are the Oracle. There are other oracles, but nothing comes anywhere close to Chainlink. So integrating with Chainlink is what you want. It's the gold standard, if you like. So Ethereum Layer 2 network, Metis, has integrated the Chainlink cross-chain interoperability protocol technology to propel the ecosystem's growth, according to the statement. The integration will give Metis access to a robust token bridge infrastructure that enhances its cross-chain capabilities. It will also improve user and developer experiences while accelerating adoption in the industry. No, thank you. Go away. By securely interoperating cross-chain via CCIP, Metis is able to provide a more seamless developer and user experience in its ecosystem while helping to accelerate the adoption. The benefits. The integration will facilitate bridging. Now, bridging is when you take one asset from one chain to another chain. That's all it is. That's what bridging is. And it will allow different tokens and stable coins to operate within the Metis ecosystem and be swapped to other ecosystems. And remember, one of the biggest vulnerabilities in crypto are wormholes and the contracts associated with bridging and all those kinds of things. You'll always see that bridges have been exploited, wormholes have been exploited, and Chainlink is aiming to stop that, put a stop to it, by connecting the major blockchains together and removing those vulnerabilities. There is nothing worse than trying to send 1,000 USDC from one layer 2 on Ethereum to another layer 2 on Ethereum, or one layer 2 on another chain to a different layer 1 on another blockchain, and then it not appearing because the contract has been compromised. So this fixes the problem. DeFi Llama illustrates the importance of this development, revealing a modest $41 million market capitalization for stablecoins on the Metis network compared to Ethereum's $73 billion. The CCIP integration would open Metis to Ethereum's stablecoin volume, amplifying its market presence. Now, when we covered Solana and Ethereum a few weeks ago on the channel, and I was trying to say to you, we have all of this volume on Solana. I think Solana yesterday did 2 billion, or I don't know. It was a ridiculous volume on Solana yesterday. The issue is that Ethereum has all the liquidity. Ethereum has all the stable coins. What tends to happen on Ethereum is you trade to USDC or USDT. On Solana, the history has been you trade to Solana, because there hasn't been the stablecoin volume there that's needed. I think in the future, we are going to see some kind of connection between Solana and Matic, for example, to give Solana access to that volume. Because at the minute, you're seeing projects on Solana that get, well, they believe they're getting too big, like DeGods and OK Bears, that move from Solana to Ethereum because the ecosystem has so much more liquidity. And what this allows you to do, this Chainlink integration, it allows you to access all of that liquidity in a secure manner. So whether it be the AG layer from Matic, whether it be CCIP from Chainlink, giving this liquidity a wider spectrum of chains is good for the user. It's good for the developer because they can do developments across multiple chains. And it's good for the blockchain itself because it adds utility and it adds usage. If Metis doesn't integrate itself into Ethereum, it will die and become a zombie chain. So security and user experience are top priorities. So for me, this is great news for Metis. And again, as you would expect, whenever news comes out about Chainlink being used to connect blockchains together, you tend to find a walloping great pump in the market. Now, the good thing for Metis is it's got a very nice chart. Obviously, buying Metis down here has been the purchase of a lifetime. The indicators to have bought Metis would very simply have been from this period of time all the way down here. It tried to have a breakout. It's fallen below. Below this bull market support line, if it's a project you believe in, should be the time to buy. Because you would have got Metis anywhere between about $12 and $40. Anywhere in this period of time. From May 2022, not May last year, from May 2022 all the way through to November, you could have picked it up at $20. So you've 5x'd your money. And what did it do? The coin broke straight through towards the end of December. It came up, it touched this fib level, but look at that. It's found support. And now I can only imagine it's going to go higher. This is coming up as well. We're not overly bought, so we still have a long way to go. So the price of Metis could continue to pump. Now, I'm not showing you this to recommend buying this coin. There's going to be better coins for you to buy with more upside. It's already 5x'd from December. You know, the pump has happened. Now, if it continues to go up and it goes to $200, so be it. But like Solana, buying Solana at $15 or $20, it's currently $130. That's let's call it a 5x for argument's sake. It's 5x to where it is today. By the end of this year, people expect it to be at $600. That's potentially a 4x. Potentially a 4x. May even be a 3x. So you've missed a lot of gains on these coins. But I'm showing you this because if there is a retracement and if the coin does come down to $65, because this could also be hype, don't forget, there's a lot of hype around being integrated with Chainlink. So we could get rejected again at $124. Look what happened last time we were rejected. We came down here. So we could see a similar move again to touch the bull market support band, and you could pick it up at $73. That might be a good price to get it at, or maybe $77, $73, $77, around that price. But don't rush in because it's 5x'd. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to 5x again in the future. And I'm showing you this because clearly this is when the news broke about Chainlink. This is clearly when it broke, and it did rocket up, and it is probably going to go higher. But for me, I wouldn't look to pick it up at this price. This looks like, I mean, it's the highest price it's been since it crashed after the previous bull run. So for me, I'm not going to buy this coin. I'm not saying it's a bad coin. I'm saying that this is probably 50% hype and 50% from the opening up of the Ethereum ecosystem liquidity to it. So I'm not going to buy this coin. I'm not going to suggest anybody buys this coin. I'm just showing it you because the price action's been quite nice, and I think trying to find coins which are either pre-pump or post-pump to show you and then tell you the reasons why you should buy them or you shouldn't buy them. Of course, that's not financial advice. Why would it be financial advice? Right then, so we're going to move on to talk about oracles. And the reason we're going to talk about oracles is you will hear a lot of talk on this channel about oracles because we give Brogan the nickname Oracle. And Chainlink does a very good job of explaining what oracles are. And after we've done this, we're going to go and have a look at the top oracles, the biggest oracles that are on the market. Good morning, Mohammed. Welcome to the stream. I hope you are doing well. So what is an oracle? I don't know if this is big enough for you to see on the screen. I think it is. So oracles are entities that connect blockchains to external systems, thereby enabling smart contracts to execute based upon inputs and outputs from the real world. With the potential for hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of assets to move on-chain, blockchain tech is transforming. We don't need to read all of this. Blockchain, smart contracts, and oracles underpin the verifiable web, where users can understand exactly what's going on within an application and remain in control of their assets. So oracles play a foundational role in the creation of the verifiable web, connecting blockchains that would otherwise be isolated to off-chain data and compute, and enabling interoperability between blockchains. So what they are doing, I use the spider's web analogy all the time. Imagine that each blockchain that exists, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, whatever it might be, they all exist as different spider's webs. And as a spider, you can only walk around that particular spider's web. And what an oracle allows you to do is it allows you to connect your spider's webs together so you have one great big web, one great big blockchain. But it also allows you to connect to different trees, which aren't blockchains, they're different trees. And you can expand your spider's web to cover all of the trees. And then it becomes a nightmarish scenario where you're walking through a forest full of trees covered in spiders' webs. And if you don't like spiders, it's going to be scary. Oracles are not scary. Oracles allow for interoperability. And the two things we talk about a lot on this channel are regulation and adoption. And adoption comes from creating an ecosystem that the average person can use. The average person without experience in crypto can use. They can play games. They can do online banking via a DEX platform. They can buy an NFT in a game and sell it in a different blockchain. All of these things need to be in place before retail is really going to understand what's going on. When you pick up your mobile phone in the morning and you go and look at Twitter or you go and look at Facebook, you don't need to know anything about your ISP or the IP address or the data center or anything to do with the DNS server, the domain name server. You don't care about that. You just open up Facebook or X and you read through the posts. blockchains need to be the same. You need to be able to open your phone, go to your wallet, see how much money you've got, see what transactions have carried out, the same way online banking works or your banking app works. If you've got assets like Bitcoin, you want to be able to sell the Bitcoin and buy Ethereum, or you want to do all of these things. You then might want to go and play a mobile phone on a mobile game on your phone. You don't care if that game is on Ethereum. You don't care if it's using IMX. You don't care if it's using Gala. You don't care. You just want to play a game. And if that game costs tokens and you can earn tokens from it, even better. Because you could sit there in the morning and play a game, convert your $5 worth of winnings into a coffee at your local Starbucks. It's all you care about. And Chainlink, being obviously it's the biggest oracle, is going as far as it can, as fast as it can, in bringing in the real world to blockchain, but also connecting the blockchain together. Now, we're not going to go through all of these examples. It's an awfully big topic to cover. I am skimming over it. All you need to do is it creates interoperability. It connects blockchains together, and it connects, for example, it connects the banking system to the blockchain. It connects Visa and MasterCard to the blockchain. So it can bring in external parties and then also connect the blockchains together. That's what you need to know. That's all you need to know, or all you need to worry about, should I say. So oracles are here to stay. They are not sexy. I will give you that. They are not sexy, but they are fundamental to how it works. And if you don't hold any oracle tokens in your portfolio, I would strongly recommend at least doing your own research on them. So we're not going to talk about much more about oracles because it's not really it's too much depth, and I've got to remember that a lot of people watching don't know an awful lot about crypto. So I've got to try and skim over it as best I can. But anyway, so the blockchain use cases. Decentralized finance. We talk about Jupiter on here all the time, or Camino, or we talk about, the different ones that are listed on DeFi Llama. NFTs and gaming. Another example where NFTs can move through different chains. They can be minted on one chain, connected to another chain. So you've got insurance can be used, enterprise can use it, sustainability. We don't need to talk about sustainability, but again, what I would recommend if you do want to deep dive into this is go and have a look at the Chainlink website and read all of this article all the way through. That's what I would recommend, and you're probably going to understand about 90% of it. So for me, you want to be looking at trying to at least understand the majority of what an oracle can do. Now, again, we talk a lot about doing your own research, and CoinMarketCap is one of the best places. It's a place that shows you it can categorize the blockchain ecosystem. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to buy gaming tokens, it will give you a list. If you want to buy DEX tokens, it will give you a list. And in this instance, it shows you the oracles by market capitalization. And this is what we're interested in, because now you know what an oracle does. Here are the biggest oracles that you can buy. Now, BitTenza has come from absolutely nowhere to take second position, $4.5 billion market cap. Chainlink is sitting just under $20. That's, I think, a psychological price for Chainlink. That's only $11.7 billion. If you were to ask me which of those two tokens is fairly priced and which one isn't, Chainlink at $20 is a steal. It's probably not guaranteed, of course. It's probably going to go to 3 figures, maybe $100 in the near future. That only gives it a $56 billion market cap. So we're not talking it going to 300 billion or whatever it might be. It's very conservative to suggest it's going to go to $100. Previous cycle, I think it was $47, $49. So it's not going to do a multiple of its previous all-time high. BitTenza is brand new. And because it's brand new and it's shiny and everybody likes it, everybody's going to go out and buy it. But I'm not a huge fan of BitTenza right now. I think I made a video about BitTenza. I think I covered it in a video, and I'm not massively keen on it, if I'm going to be honest. Pyth. Now, what you also got to remember is that there's different types of oracles. There's ones that do one particular thing, and there's ones that do everything. Like Chainlink does an awful lot. Pyth is more of a price ticker, so it keeps the prices of all the different tokens, and it adds tokens. So if you want an API of various different prices for your platform, you'd use Pyth. It's still a good oracle, coming in at 1 billion. Now, beneath that, there is nothing. There is nothing. Everything has tiny market caps. Uma, Band, you've probably heard these names before. Teller, I made a video about. Teller had, I'm going to digress a little minute. Teller had a huge issue. At the end of last year, there was a huge amount of market manipulation there, which was towards the end of December. I made a video about it, telling people not to buy it. And I told people not to buy it, not because it's a bad token, but because there was price manipulation. And as you can see, it went from $110. A few days later, it peaked out at whatever it was, $250. Is it $250? Sorry, $600 it topped out at. $600. And it's come straight back down again. So there's price manipulation because it wasn't a huge cap. People were moving the price around, whatever it might be. So the long and short of it is, at this moment in time, there's only 3 large-scale oracles, Chainlink being number 1 by a mile. BitTenza, I think, is overpriced, and Pyth, which I think is a fair value. After that, you're really looking at specific cases. I think there's a few missing from here as well that I would have included, but I don't know why they're not here. Anyway, the point of the matter is, go and have a look at oracles. Maybe one of these oracles will grab your attention. Maybe API 3, maybe Band, maybe even Teller. I looked at Teller. I'm not a fan of what they're trying to build, in all honesty. I've made a video about them. I'm not a huge fan of it. But doesn't mean you're not going to like it either. Remember what I say is that if you can't explain a project to somebody in 30 seconds or in the time it takes to go up 3 flights in a lift, if you can't explain it to somebody, then you shouldn't hold that token. That's my rule of thumb, because you should be able to understand what a token does. You need to understand why you hold that token. And for me, an oracle as part of your portfolio, at the minute, there's only one, which of course is Chainlink. And that's, I mean, as I said, you might find Band Protocol. Band Protocol could 10x in the next bull run. You could come all the way down here. You could find one that you like. Maybe you look, Nest Protocol is another one I've heard of. Maybe they're going to 10 or 100x, but that's not for me to go down to these levels of market cap and find coins, because they're highly speculative. Once you get below 300 billion or so, you're getting down towards real speculation. And for me, I'm not gonna make a video about a $10 million project, because it's just too small. It can be manipulated and all sorts. So go and check out Chainlink, go and check out oracles. It's worthy of looking at. Now, the last article about meme coins is not on my list. It has vanished. So I don't know where it went, but it's no longer on my list. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on. I'm going to do a bit of a quiz. Let's bring up the Bitcoin chart and see if we can see anything. I do think we're going to head up in the near future. I do think we are. I think we're going to have a run at 63,000. At the bottom corner of the screen, it says 63,000 soon. I think we're going to have another run at 63,000. Possibly. Right then, so we're going to do a bit of a quiz. I'm going to ask some quiz questions. We've got 10 minutes. We've done quite well for time today. So there's no reason not to do the quiz. Remember to contact us if you want us to look at your portfolio for you for free. We can look at your portfolio. More than happy to do that. And if you need any other assistance, if you need questions, if you want a video making about a project, if you need anything like that doing, just get in touch with us and we'll be more than happy to try and help you. And I'm just trying to get back into the app. Every day there's a problem with this app. Every day. Let's just give me 1 second. I'm just trying to log back in and see if I can understand why it's not working. Come on. Good morning, Gianni. By the way, I've just seen your message. Good morning, Gianni. I don't think I've missed anybody else out. Let me go back in the room. Everything seems to be back now. We're back in the land of the living. That's the most important thing. I think we had a small, minor problem with the internet for a second, but we seem to be okay now. I think, yeah, we're back now. Sorry about that. Problem with the internet. We seem to phase out for a few minutes, and now we're back. So, we're going to ask you a few quick questions. Depending on where you are, you can win some free SHIB. And if you're somewhere else, you can just take part for a bit of fun. Right, let's start the quiz then. And if you've seen us a few times, we do tend to ask very similar questions every day because lots of people who've never seen us before, never been here before, they won't know the answers. So then, the first question, I'm going to ask this every day until it happens. The Bitcoin halving then. Is the Bitcoin halving going to be in April or is it going to be in June? April or June? When's the Bitcoin halving going to be? And I'm going to drop that, give you about 60 seconds to answer. I'm just trying to keep an eye on chat. Right, where was I? There we go. Let me go back in now. Come on, come on. Right, I should be live. Let me just have a look. Rizal, you can't type both answers. That's cheating. Mohammed, you are correct. The Bitcoin halving, is it in April or June? All you got to do is drop the correct answer. And depending on where you're watching, you will get some free crypto. 32 people so far, according to my app, have got this one right. So the answer is, of course, April. April the 20th is when the halving is likely to happen. Likely to happen. Could come forward a few days. It was going to be April the 9th, which would have been Brogan's birthday. And it's going to be April the 20th as current standing. So, Elian, congratulations. Crypto Sergio Chef King, nice long name there. Well done. Andres, well done. Next question. I just have to type these into my app before I before I can answer them. So it does take me a couple of minutes to ask each one. There we go. Okay. So then, next question. Very simple question. Bitcoin, is it proof of stake or proof of work? Bitcoin, proof of stake or proof of work? All you got to do is type POW or POS and you have won. Is Bitcoin proof of work or proof of stake? Now, I'm trying to see the stream in one place. Rizal, you are correct. How can we take advantage of the April halving? Well, some people believe there's going to be a correction on the halving, and I am not 1,000% sure about that. I don't know whether there is going to be a correction. I think there might be. I think what's likely to happen is there's going to be volatility between now and the end of the year. And when it happens near April the 20th, people are going to say, oh, look, you know, the halving caused this crash or this movement down. But we went from 63,000 to 58,000 to 62,000 in the last 4 days. I mean, that was a 10% move down, bear in mind. So 10% move down. We've now back at 62,000. I think we're going to have another run at 63,000 today. We are 10% below the all-time high. If you think about it, all-time high is 69,000. We're at 62,000. 10% on top of 62,000 is 68,300. It's pretty much the all-time high. So we're sitting 10% below the all-time high. It's doable in 3 days. We could be at 70,000 this time next week. Alternatively, we could be back at 60,000. Nobody has a crystal ball. So the answer is, of course, proof of work. You are all correct. Congratulations to Sonia. And somebody mentioned it over here as well. Sego 4ZB, you are correct. It's proof of work. Right, next question. We'll try and run the show, as always, till about 12:05. We are trying to do the show in an hour. We used to run to an hour and 20 minutes. But we're going to try and do it in an hour. I have made a video today as well. By the way, I've made a video about another airdrop. If you hold Tia, if you hold Pyth, or if you hold Dupe, there is an airdrop next week, starting on, I believe, the 4th of March. There is an airdrop. So I'm going to leave all of the information I've got in the video that I'm making. I'm going to edit it after the stream, and I'm going to upload it to the famous place where there's videos, and it will be there probably by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. So there's a new airdrop. The airdrop snapshot happened on the 29th of February. So the snapshot has already happened. It isn't an airdrop you can build up for, it's already done. So if you held the amount of tokens that it mentions in the video, you'll be eligible for it. If you don't, then there is no point. But anyway, that's beside the point. Next question. Right. And remember, these are not meant to catch you out. These are just meant to be general crypto questions, which, whether you know them or not, you should know them by the end of the question. So the next question is, the current supply of Ethereum. Is the current supply of Ethereum 120 million Ethereum, 120M, or is it 250 million? Are there 120 million or 250 million ETH in circulation? Roughly, bear in mind, roughly. Rizal, all you need to do is follow and turn your notifications on. So if you follow the channel, turn your notifications on. What will happen when the video drops in a couple of hours, you'll get a notification on your phone. And all you got to do then is come back. It's only a short video as well. Something to bear in mind, when I make videos, I don't make 35, 45-minute videos because it's a lot of somebody's day. So I try and make my videos between about 5 and 12 minutes long. 5 minutes long if it's a snippet, 12 minutes long if it's a bit more in-depth and I do a full project review. A project review normally takes me 12 minutes. Today, I think this is going to be an 8-minute video, 7-minute video, and it's got everything in it you need to know about the project and the airdrop. So anyway, the correct answer is 120 million. That is the correct answer. Remember, Ethereum is proof of stake, but it's also deflationary. And the more usage we get out of Ethereum, the more ETH is burnt. There is more ETH being burned than paid out in rewards, validator rewards. Ravia, you are correct. I didn't ask for the total supply, I asked for the current supply. But it is, please bear in mind, it is deflationary at this moment in time, and there are less Ethereum today than there were 6 months ago. Right, last question. It's 12:01. Let me ask you one more question. Let me think if I can think of... Oh, here we go. This is an easy one. I don't even know why I'm asking that one. This one is so easy. Okay then, who owns Amazon? Who owns Amazon? Is it Bezos or Musk? Who owns Amazon? Bezos or Musk? All you got to do is type Bezos with a capital B or Musk with a capital M into chat and you are a winner. And I am trying to keep an eye on all of the chats. So if you are in here, leave the comment and we will be able to track you. So I am keeping a track on most correct answers. Somebody just got that one right then. Where is it? Degit, love Cryptoverse. Congratulations. That is correct. Andrea, wow. Yes, I'm sure it is all wow. Mohammed, correct. Rizal, you are correct. And most people answering this in chat are correct. It is, of course, I'm not even going to wait for the countdown. It is, of course, Jeff Bezos. He's just sold about $8.5 billion worth of Amazon stock. And people do believe that he is buying Bitcoin. And I wouldn't back against him buying Bitcoin. I think he is buying Bitcoin with it. And who can blame him? It's the scarcest asset in the world, and if anybody says to you it has no real world value, do me a favor and go and look up the definition of money. Go and look up the 6 tenets of what makes money and tell me which one has more value, the US dollar or Bitcoin, because the US dollar is being printed into infinity every year. Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million. There will never be 21 million and one Bitcoin. And Satoshi has locked away 1 million Bitcoin forever. So there's only going to be really 20 million Bitcoin in existence. You are locked out of there. Is there any other way? The only way to really get in touch with me then, if you can't get me on there, is to send me an email. And you did send me an email, and I did reply a couple of weeks ago. So you need to send me another email. So Diwang, congratulations. Fate, congratulations. Oleg, Petco, Noted, Tulis, Solo Sky is here. War Master C is here. Do you know, I haven't seen any of the chat today because of the amount of junk being typed into it. It's all messed up. Anyway. So that is the end. Remember, we are back live tomorrow at 11 o'clock, same time, same place, except this time we'll be in the studio. And I've had a haircut, believe it or not. So I've had a haircut. I'll be in the studio tomorrow with the Oracle himself. Brogan will be with me. We will be going over whatever we've got to talk about tomorrow. We'll have some charts. We'll have some conversation. We'll have the usual skullduggery going on the stream. So if you're new here, the number one thing you can do is follow us. That's the number one way to help us. We're at 101,000. It'd be great to get to 200,000 by the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Maybe we'll fall short, but even if we get to 150, 160,000 followers by the end of the year, that would be amazing. So give us a follow, turn your notifications on. I'm going to drop a video in about 2 hours about the new airdrop. So that's going to come out today. Tomorrow, we will be streaming at 11 o'clock. It's already in the calendar in some places. In the other place, I'll be adding it to the calendar in about 20 minutes. Then on Sunday, there will be nothing. Maybe I'll upload a few videos. And then back again, Monday to Saturday next week, 11 o'clock. I will be streaming every day at 11 o'clock. Thank you for the kind words, Mohammed. Thank you to all the OGs that are in chat. I know it's difficult to see. If I'm not fully watching chat constantly, I can't ban these spammers. That's the problem. And if it's one of those things, if I spend my time looking at chat and not doing the stream, it defeats the purpose of the stream. So sometimes there's a trade-off between me banning people in chat and doing the stream. And today, I've got to admit, the spammers have won today. They've beaten me. But anyway, so thank you. If you're new here, welcome to the stream. If you're not new here, thank you for coming back. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. Take care. Love all of you. Have a great Friday. If you have nothing better to do on a Saturday morning, tune in tomorrow. We will be back in 23 hours' time. Saturday morning, we will be here with your almost daily batch of crypto. So until then, have a great day. Thanks to everybody. Thanks, Rizal. Thanks, Mohammed, for the chats. Thanks, everybody. See you all very soon.